Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski, and today I'm going to be going over all of the investments that I made within PokeMMO during the Christmas event 2024, which has now bled over into 2025. Now, let's make it extremely clear that whenever I talk about investments that I've made or my personal feelings or opinions on the PokeMMO market, that is all they are. Nothing is for sure. I'm not here to give advice. I'm not here to tell you some magical bean that will for sure grow into millions and millions of Pokeyen and make you tons of money. You just never really know. And all you can really do is make enough investments that do well that hopefully in the long run you win. There you go. That's the quick qualifier. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So first things first, we're going to be using today PokeMMO Hub. This is a website that should be linked in the description that will actually allow you to track your items and track all of your gains and progress when it comes to investing in PokeMMO. I think if you want to take investing in PokeMMO seriously or any sort of long-term money making seriously in PokeMMO, this tool is a must. It's so powerful. It's so amazing. Here's a bunch of old investments that I actually made. As you can see, I did extremely well on Mysterious Balls. I just decided to track these because I just had a really strong feeling that they would be an absolutely incredible investment, and they turned out pretty well. But I'm gonna go ahead and actually, I think, delete all of these now, which is gonna break my heart a little bit, but I want to make a new clean slate of investments, and you can't really have multiple unless I like made a new account, I guess, but I'd rather go ahead and just delete all this. So I'm gonna go ahead and rest in peace. May it reside in PokeMMO history as actually a good financial decision that Patrouski made. I know, what a shocker. But today, let's jump into what I'll be logging, which has been this year's Mysterious Balls, which I'm just a big fan of Mysterious Balls. If you don't know, Mysterious Balls are really the only way to pay to win to a shiny in PokeMMO, which I'm not a fan of gameplay-wise, but technically, if someone wants to swipe mom's credit card, they could then go get RP vouchers, sell those RP vouchers for Pokeyen on the GTL, and then go buy tons and tons of Mysterious Balls. And you can pop, about a few thousand of these an hour, so you can usually get a shiny, I believe in about an hour and a half is the shortest. I think you can end up popping around 12 to 1,500 of these an hour. It's similar rates to certain other, like, say, 5 times hordes or whatever, other shiny methods. But the shiny rate on these is 1 out of 8K, 1 out of 4K, crazy rates. So it definitely makes for some interesting interactions with shiny hunting. But we aren't here to discuss the, ins and outs of Mysterious Balls and whether or not they should be in the game. We're here to make investments into them because I think that they're a very, very good investment. So first things first, my pride and joy, we have 800 Mysterious Pokeballs 2024s. I bought most of these, pretty much all of them, I think at this point, for around 15K. And they're pretty, static around that price. So we're not really going to see any big money made or anything crazy in this video. I would love to do a follow-up video in a few months from now, maybe even a year from now, seeing how much profit I made on these investments. But for now, it's really just going to be logging stuff and showing you guys why I made the decisions that I made. So here is the first one logged. So far, I've spent a total of 12 million Pokeyen on these Mysterious Pokeballs at 15,000 per unit, with 800 of them bought. The site technically says there is a small gain right now, but I wouldn't really take this at face value. I feel like they definitely float back and forth between 15K and 1,500, maybe even like 14.8 right now. So I don't think I've gained any profit on these quite yet. Next up is Mysterious Great Ball 2023s. I was actually down to my last 100 or so when coming into this event. I had opened a fair bit, a little bit. I don't like to open them, but I sold off a ton. I was slowly selling off my Mysterious Great Balls since I made so much profit on them. But I did end up actually rebuying around 300 of these this event for around 52K. And I think they actually have gone slightly back down since that, honestly. So if anything, I've lost money so far, but I'm pretty confident in this product. I think the Mysterious Great Balls 2023 are my favorite Mysterious Ball to ever be implemented in PokeMMO. I think the Pokemon you can get from them being things like Sheldon, and then there's other things that I'm forgetting off the top of my head, but some really good species, as well as a 1 out of 4,000 shiny rate for the price is pretty crazy. This year, they actually nerfed Great Balls down to 1 out of 6K, which I think is extremely notable. Whereas in previous years, the Pokeball was 1 out of 8K, the Great Ball went all the way down to 1 out of 4K, and the Ultra Ball was 1 out of 2,500. This year, they nerfed it quite a bit. Ultra Balls went down to that Great Ball rate of 1 out of 4K, and Great Balls went to a 1 out of 6K rate, with Pokeballs remaining the same at 1 out of 8K. But I did invest, as we can see right here, in around 300 Mysterious Great Balls 2023s during this event. And honestly, they're at around that price on the GTL. I thought they had gone back to like 51, 50K, which once again, if that happens in the short term, you know, that's totally okay. You shouldn't panic sell or anything like that. But yeah, nothing made so far, obviously, on these. Just want to see what happens in the future. A really important thing that I always try to encourage players to do is that during events, like during 2024 events, look back at 2023 items. I think during the hype and limited time and FOMO stuff, people always focus on the newest and brightest, shiniest thing. But often you can make some insane investments on products and sealed products and vanities, whatever, from like 1 to 2 years ago. People often will panic sell that stuff that they invested in 1 to 2 years ago to invest in the new shiny bright thing, when almost always stuff dips during events like that. So you should not panic sell during events like that. I did buy a handful of Mysterious Ultra Ball 2024s. I don't know if you would consider this an investment because it's so few of them, but I think it's something to note. So I did go ahead and put it in my little spreadsheet here. And I mean, it is 2 mil. Like, Ultra Balls are expensive. You call it nothing, just being 26 of them, as most investors would, but it's around 2 mil. That's a lot of Pokeyen for the average player. So that is a solid investment, honestly, for the average player. So made a little bit of return on these. Bought most of them for around 74K, if not cheaper. I try to underestimate my profits instead of overestimate, because I'd rather be really surprised and happy with the outcome. You know, oh, I did better than I thought I did, versus, oh, I did worse than I thought I did. So this is kind of a high ball on the price, just in case. When you're marking these things as investments, you do have to like list them all at an average price. I can show you kind of right here if you can see. So 15K, like these Pokeballs is pretty accurate, but like even some of these I bought for like 19K, a few of them right at the very highest, but then I bought some for like 14K. So the most of which were 14, 15K. So like there are a lot of things like that where you have to kind of just guesstimate an eyeball and average out the unit cost. So nothing's going to be perfect when it comes to a format like this. But thankfully, we don't need perfection. We just need good enough to see how our investments are doing and seeing the trends and seeing what's good to look forward to in the future times. I'm investing in Mysterious Balls once again because they did so well for me in the past. That could be a good sign, or it could bite me in the butt, honestly. Because now this year, everybody knows that they're a good investment, or that they were previously. So because of that, a lot more people might invest, usually making an investment less good, but it can depend. More money involved often can also mean that, you know, there's more like money in the pot, so people care more about actually having that. There's more investment in having that product go up in price and having that investment do well, the more people that invest into it. But I feel like that's often not the case in PokeMMO. I feel like PokeMMO people panic sell more than most other markets, which makes sense. There's a lot of limited time stuff in PokeMMO and a lot of FOMO that develops into a lot of fear, and there's a lot of easy mistakes to be made there. And when I talk about this stuff, it's because I've made every mistake in the book. You know, I've made every mistake that can financially happen in PokeMMO. Back when I played this game when I was 15, I wasn't exactly a financially literate 15-year-old. I gambled everything. I liquidated everything to try to get more stuff and go for the candy cane and all these things. And when I came back to the game in 2021, my account was pretty much at 0 Pokeyen. I had nothing aside from a few straggling Pokemon, but even then I'd sold most of my good Pokemon. I really made every bad decision in the book. So I try to do videos like this to hopefully not give people advice necessarily, but like show people what I'm doing now to avoid those said mistakes. But I think that's pretty much it for the Mysterious Balls, honestly. Not much there. I mean, that's most of my investments, to be fair. But next thing, I did actually go ahead and invest in a few of the earrings. I feel like these were way cheaper. I don't know. I'm surprised how cheap these were. They're like the 20K vanity. There's usually like a vanity that costs around 20K or so. But one of the #1 complaints from my wife that I hear about PokeMMO, and she almost never complains about the game, so this like goes to show, is she says there's not much expression for like women characters in the game in terms of vanities, especially in terms of hairstyles. I always hear there's just not that many options. So I think it's really important for characters to be able to express their identity and how they feel. So having more options like that for all types of players is just a win-win. It's just better for character expression, as well as it creates cool little things on the market. So I hope the earrings do well. I hope to see, you know, certain player bases like actually care about that and want that and debate. So we'll have to see. But I did end up picking up Teal Wish earrings. I'm gonna count how many I picked up and mark in the price here in a quick sec. I actually had 18 of the Teal Wish earrings. I'm just gonna go ahead and buy 2 more. These are a little bit more than probably about what I paid. I probably paid about 24K, maybe probably 22K. I think for most of these, maybe we'll average it out to 23K is probably the right way to do it. So we're gonna head over to GTL Investments. I now have 20 of them at around 23K. And then boom, there you go. There's the teal wish earrings added. You can actually see it's a small loss technically right now, but I'm okay with that once again. Then the red wish earrings are kind of the same thing for me. I actually have 17 of them, so I'm gonna go ahead and buy 1, 2, 3 to make it a clean 20. I have noticed that they're kind of cheaper right now ish. Seems like a lot were listed in the last 15 minutes or so, as you can see over here, but I feel like the red wish earrings were a little bit more expensive than the teal. I don't know if red is just a more popular color, which kind of makes sense for earrings, but I could be mistaken. Let's head back over to our browser. We can actually go ahead and just make an investment and show you guys. So I do now have 20 of them. These I definitely bought for an average price around 24k, not 23k, so I feel pretty comfortable going ahead and noting that down. And then boom, there we go. Our mysterious Pokeballs, our mysterious Great Balls, our Ultra Balls, and our 2 different types of earrings, which we just spent around 500k on each earring, so pretty small investments there, but I still wanted to note them. And all in all, I think those are actually my main investments from the event. I have a few Santa beards and like wreaths here and there, but just a handful of them, and they're like 10 to 15k a piece, so I don't really count those as investments. That is the main cream of the crop. So I did end up spending around almost 31 million Pokeyen on item investments, but I do actually have one other pretty large investment to show you guys that I spent a few million Pokeyen on, and this is my riskiest investment of them all, but it could pay off pretty well. Historically, stuff like this can be pretty insane, or it can be a massive dud, and I think so far I'm already kind of losing on it, so we'll see if it enters that dud territory. I try to always be upfront with you guys. I make a lot of bad investments, things like the Mage's Staff, and a lot of really good investments, things like the mysterious Pokeball, so it really just comes down to luck of the draw sometimes, and just overall consistency and quantity of investments, and you know, spreading your, what's it called, having a portfolio, yada yada, all the buzzwords. I'm not financially educated. I just like playing MMOs with market. So let's go ahead and jump into my final investment that I wanted to show you guys. It's over here in my mail, and it is 20 hidden ability, specifically alpha, 20 alpha Tangrowth. This Pokemon introduced Regenerator Tangrowth into PokeMMO, which is an extremely good OU competitive Pokemon from the last time I checked. Let's go check. It only has 1,000 games under its belt, but it is rocking a 60% win rate, which is pretty darn impressive. Pretty darn disgusting, if you ask me. We'll see how it does. It's also often paired with Heatran, which is really, really interesting. So I'm curious to see how this goes. There's a lot of investments I didn't make, and I'll actually log the Tangrowth here in a quick sec, but probably on a notepad document of some sorts. But I ended up paying around 250k for all my Tangrowth, so I think they actually might already be, yeah, I've already lost a little bit of money technically if I were to go sell them right now, but obviously I have no plans to do so. I bought 20 of them for around 240, 250, probably 250k on average, to be totally honest, right, a piece. So far I've lost a little bit of money, but there's 175 of them on the GTL. When it comes to understanding what to invest in, checking the supply here, checking the number of things listed is super important. I don't see people check that nearly enough. But after this event is over, the ability to bring new alpha Tangrowths into the game is gonna be gone. So if 200 OU players that don't have hidden ability Tangrowths right now want hidden ability Tangrowths, 25 of them are gonna be shit out of luck, and that's gonna drive the market up, in my opinion. So it's a really powerful Pokemon. A lot of Pokemon are going to need it in PvP. I'm curious to see what happens. We've seen similar things like this with things like Excadrill, right? Because Excadrill is a limited time alpha Pokemon. Usually you get this during the Lunar New Year event, which, wink wink, is coming up. So keep an eye out. It might return this year. It probably will, given these prices in some way, but we'll have to just see. But yeah, so Excadrill, we've seen that be super expensive. We've seen Alpha Amoonguss be like 800k in the past. It is no longer. I think now it's super cheap, but back in the day, this was also a limited time. Okay, ignore that. A limited time sort of alpha Pokemon. So limited alphas that are good in PvP, things like Regenerator Amoonguss, things like Moldbreaker Excadrill, they can carry some serious demand and serious prices in PokeMMO. So I feel pretty happy about the Tangrowth investment, but obviously they could just go down. We'll have to see. Maybe they implement a Tangrowth Alpha Swarm that happens wildly tomorrow in PokeMMO, and that would destroy my investment, you know? And if that happens, that's how it goes. That's the game. You can't be upset about it. That's the risk you take, you know? Investing is some of the easiest, dumbest money you'll ever make, in my opinion. I kind of feel this way in almost IRL and in-game, but it can also be some of the most gut-wrenching, like, losses you'll ever see. It can be some of the quickest, easiest money, or some of the, you know, wow, that really hurt watching that drop, you know, that fast. So it really depends. And that's, that's the swing of it. You can't really be upset either way. Now, there are a bunch of higher ticket items that people have been investing into, my understanding. Things like Heatran, things like Jirachi. Heatran I wouldn't recommend investing as it's not limited time. There will only just be more and more of them like coming into the game. It's not tied to the event. The Heatran raid will not be over once the event is. Jirachi you could arguably, but that's a tough one. Shaman was kind of similar back when it released, and now, but that was a lot more than the game. So Shaman, Jirachi, Heatran. Obviously, there's the items like the RP items, like the rods. People really like the red star rods and the teal rods. Their prices are just so high right now. I don't like touching high-priced ultra rare items because they can tank. We've seen ultra rares like the Mage's Staff be at 9 mil at one point during an event and then tank to like 800k now. So these can just plummet. Vanities are just very, very, very risky. Single vanities like this are just always going to be hyper risky. That's why I'm a big fan of sealed product. If you want to invest in a sealed product that I haven't shown or talked about today, I would recommend something like Santa Presents or Xmas Presents, some sort of sealed product that is safe. It's a conglomeration of a bunch of different vanities, so its price is going to be tied to those different vanities, but in a much more smaller margins, right? Like, but I guess that's the riskiness, right? If you want to invest in like the crypto of PokeMMO, you could do things like the earrings. You could do, I mean, mass scale or whatever. You could do things. These are pretty cheap, to be fair. You could do. We're gonna add to our investment. You could do the the single vanities, or you could do the safe investments, the ETF, the index funds, whatever. For all you nerdy finance bros out there that make me cringe, you could do the. Just kidding. Okay. The Santa presents. You could do the Xmas presents. You could do the mysterious balls, the sealed product, etc., etc. So. Hopefully that wraps things up. Talked about the investments I did make, the ones I didn't. I know it was a very long, rambly video, but that's welcome to markets. That's kind of what it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Hopefully you found something entertaining, something a little bit cringe. Like the video if you enjoyed it, dislike if you did not, and subscribe to the channel for daily PokeMMO videos. I will see you guys later. Have a fantastic day. Enjoy the event. And if you want to go above and beyond and support the channel, Factor is the best way to do so. Link will be first thing in the description. They are extremely generous to me, and it's good food. It's really just a win-win. 50% off your first order, which is a great deal in this economy. Link down in the description. I will see you guys later. Peace, Reno. Hey, thank you so very much for watching until the very end of the video. That means the world to me. And if your name is listed here, you're the reason I'm able to do this in the first place by going above and beyond and supporting the channel via YouTube memberships and Twitch Primes. Thank you so much. Have a great day.